Hey you guys, and welcome to 30 Days of Building Self-Worth. And today is all about building self-worth by defining success and what success means to you. And today's day number 26. If you have not received the free PDF, you can get that at tanyacoliver.com/calendar. Welcome, my name is Tanya Oliver, a life coach for elite entrepreneurs and high-end achievers, teaching people how to become mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually healthy and strong AF. So let's dive into this. I want to start with reading a segment from this book called The Prosperity Bible. And what inspired this was we have our team huddles every Thursday, and we were just talking about feelings of feeling defeat and comparison of success and measuring success based on people that you might have as mentors or people that you're following on social media, and you're looking at people that seem to externally be a lot further along, and then here you are in this comparisonitis. It's a disease. This comparisonitis, and you're comparing your progress in your season with somebody that you have no idea of. Maybe they have external success, all these nice things on the outer world, but how is their inner world? And before I read this to you, it's so important to identify, what does success mean to me? What am I not willing to compromise? What are my staples? I have 3 rules to business. I'll never let business compromise my peace, my health, and my heart. There are 10 categories, and this is just like subcategorizing things in our life. And career and money are 2 out of the 8. And career and money aren't even intertwined in the same one. You can have an amazing career and make no money. Or you can have making a lot of money and hate your career because it's not fulfilling. So what is it in your life, if it's your life and you're living life intentionally and on purpose, of how you would measure success and what that actually means for you? So keep that in mind as I state this. In this book, it says, getting what you want is success. That's why it's so important to identify, what do I want and what does success mean to me? If I'm making a lot of money and I'm sick all the time and I'm self-medicating, that's not success. That's not how I would define success. So getting what you want is success, and success is an effect coming from the application of a cause. Success is essentially the same in all cases. The difference is in the things the successful people want, but not in the success. Success is essentially the same whether it results in the attainment of health, wealth, development, or position. Success is attainment. And when you get clear, that's why we all have so many different things that we want. And if you're achieving something because you believe it's going to make you happy, but it doesn't, then is that really success? And maybe what brought somebody else happiness and joy isn't the same thing that's bringing you happiness and joy. And it's really important to get clear on, like, intrinsically, what is success and how would you define that, so that everything else now in your outer world, the goal is to create harmony between the 2 worlds, between your outer world and your inner world. And I think what happens, what I've realized a lot of entrepreneurs get fearful of, is like, if I start becoming happy and operating in a regulated nervous system and a calm state of energy, then I'm going to lose my enthusiasm and my drive and my work ethic. But you don't. You actually just enhance the quality of it, even sometimes during the process, because people are so addicted to operating in chaos that it just might be a transition for a short period of time. But once you experience life in a different light and on the other side of chaos, on the other side of anxiety, on the other side of depression, you're like, wow, I never want to go back there. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, do I even know what it's like to have this experience? Have I ever had this experience of what it feels like to feel XYZ? All right, let me get back to here. It says, mathematically certain that you can succeed if you find out the cause of success and develop it to sufficient strength and apply it properly to your work. Here's what this is interpreting into. I love to say this all the time. There are multiple paths to an end destination. I learned this tremendously when it came to achieving my body. I had done so many different diet programs and nutritional stuff and certifications and different forms of training. And the ones that I was most successful with were the ones that I was most consistent with the ones that I enjoyed the most, and the movements that my body resonated with the best. So if you're going back to thinking about, okay, and I just sent out a message inside my Telegram group with the Inner Circle. I was like, hey guys, hey team, I want you to remember that one thing is like set a target, be strategic, build it out, execute on it, and then give it about 3 months, then assess, structure, and establish what's working, what's not working. Don't change necessarily the goal. Never change the goal until you achieve the goal. But change the goal, change the path of the route of the way that you're approaching the goal if it's not in harmony. So if you're doing something and it's exhausting you and you're becoming resentful towards it, you're not changing that goal that you've set. You're just changing the way that you're going about achieving the goal. That's what that's saying. It says, there is no end to mental growth, and you can increase the strength of this power indefinitely. And so you can make it strong enough to do what you want to do and to get what you want to get. When it is strong enough, you can learn how to apply it to the work, and therefore you can certainly succeed. All you have to learn is what is the cause of success and how it must be applied. And this goes back into there are multiple paths to an end destination. Sometimes you're just on the wrong path, okay? There's a difference between discipline and punishment. There's two different categories. I think a lot of people confuse the two just because they don't understand it. And here's a really fascinating thing they say in here too. Just have a few more segments. You choose, so saying like, in order to be successful in choosing a business, choose the one which will call for the use of your strongest faculties. I have always loved teaching. I've always loved teaching. I've always loved coaching. I've always loved taking complicated things and breaking down into practical tools. I would interview successful people when I was just in the beginning of my career, and I would ask them like, well, how do you operate like this? And how do you do this? And a lot of times people couldn't even explain it. Now, like, there's gotta be a way of being. And what I've understood throughout the last 19 years of coaching is that most of the time there were success principles and success habits that were instilled in these people from a very young age. Just like you, if you have children, just by the way that you're operating, if you're somebody that has a healthy lifestyle and that's just part of your lifestyle, and you have a healthy relationship with food, you have a healthy relationship with exercise, you have just a healthy way of the way that you treat yourself, then your children are going to understand that this is just the being. This is just how you operate, and that's just what they know because that's what they're shown. So from a very young age, they've already instilled that as their normal. And not everybody can break down things, but that's why you can join a program where somebody who has reached heightened levels of success, but they can't explain it. So there's a difference there. Choose a career that always will highlight the things that just come natural for you. I genuinely love people. I genuinely build into people. I always have. I've always been an encourager. I've always been a supporter. I've always been like a hype woman. I've always seen the best in people. I've always pulled the best out of people. If you're around me, you're going to feel better. Unless my light intimidates you, then that's what you see. So these are things that have always been natural for me. And then of course, over time, they even say in here, get into the business which will use your strongest faculties and develop these faculties all you can. And even this is not enough to ensure success. So that means even though you understand these are things that are a little bit more natural to you and they're just your passions, you also need to effort your way into sharpening those skills. So when I'm not with clients, I'm here practicing my communication skills. When I was getting I had to get my car the battery died on me, so I was waiting for 2 hours to get the battery, and I was reading a book on communication. And so even though something might come natural to you, it's important to also sharpen your skills so that you can have what you would define as success. And another thing too is it's really important. So I was reading this right here, it's amazing. Another thing too is that not only how you define success, but what are your tools of tracking your progress when it comes to success? So sometimes you might have a goal of what is success is just, this is what I want and I've achieved what I want and this is what I really want, and when I achieve it, it does feel fulfilling. I do feel happy, I do feel joy, I do feel peace. And sometimes these goals are going to be the pursuit of years. And so when you're on this journey and you're minding your business and you're staying in your lane, do you have successful tools in tracking your progress? When I was 60 pounds heavier and I was working on, I had done 2 bikini shows, and the tools that I was taught to measure progress were actually or making me want to rebel against them because they weren't healthy for me. And like getting on the scale, doing body fat pinching, which are all like the result of, and I knew I wasn't where I wanted to be, so I didn't need tools to remind me that I wasn't where I wanted to be. It just made me backlash and then rebel and get into an F it mindset, and then end up self-sabotaging with binge drinking, binge eating, and just like quitting and then getting discouraged. But even though I was making progress, like I was getting stronger, my body fat was going down, the tools that I was using to measure it was actually triggering me in a negative way. So when you're looking at your tools of measurement, are they helping you or are they discouraging you? Another thing too is when I'm going on social media, I'm not looking for likes, I'm not looking for comments as I'm building the brand, as I'm getting out here and putting more stuff out there. What I'm looking at is I have a system in place where every day I'm coming on here and I'm talking about a different topic in alignment to self-appreciation and self-worth. And my tool of measurement is that I showed up and I gave value and that you receive value. I hope you receive value. And so that's what's within my control. And those are called intrinsic goals. So if I did my job, this is my job, and I established what my job was, and then I executed on my job, then I consider that to be successful. I can't control the outcome. I can't control the algorithm. I can't manipulate the algorithm. And I also don't want to do that because I want to be mentally well. That is a goal. I don't want to become obsessive compulsive and unhealthy with social media because there's so many other things that I can be putting my time, my energy, and my attention to that fuel me up versus deplete me. So sometimes it's giving yourself the experience of knowing like, okay, when I do this, then I actually have a rebellious and negative impact when I'm using this tool to track my success and to track my progress. But then when I do this tool, it actually holds me accountable and I feel like I can show up more efficiently and impactfully, and it's motivating. One of the things that I had established during the process of tracking success, because all the tools that I was taught weren't working for me, and I wanted something simple. I wanted something that I could be honest with myself, and that's actually how this accountability calendar got created like over a decade ago. Was I was like, okay, these are my DMOs, these are my daily methods of operations. All I got to do is show up. And listen, it sounds easier than it is, but like it's hard to show up. It's easy to show up when you're motivated and inspired, but what about the days that you're not motivated? What about the days that you're depressed? What about the days that you just got really bad news or you had something happen that was just not so great and like you still showed up for it? So you have that list, you have that checklist, and that list holds you accountable, and then you get to measure it over time and to see, instead of in your mind, this is where you get to build up that self-belief, you build up this self-worth where you're like, okay, you know what? I showed up. I can see why I'm not getting the external success because I only showed up 10 days out of the 30 days this month. So I didn't even hit half of the day. But in the mind, you think you did a lot more than what you did. And that's what happens sometimes is we spend so much time thinking about something. How much time are we actually taking that energy and doing the thing versus thinking about the thing. And when you're thinking about the thing in a negative state of energy, you are exhausting yourself. So most of the time before you even do something, you're exhausted before you even do it. And then you're coming up with a like not great energy and you're not enthusiastic about it because you have this like energy of worry and stress and anxiety and depression over the task of what you're doing. And so you can even efficiently execute on it. So I hope this helped you today. Number one, I want you to define success, define what success means to you, and then number one, identify the tools that are discouraging on the tools that you're using to measure your success currently. And then I want you to think of tools, and this is one of them. I mean, this is just an accountability tracker, but you also do need to have like your daily methods of operations of what you're doing to show up in order to get you one step closer towards your bigger goal of what's on the other side. And then incentives and rewards and stuff like that. I do have videos in here, so when you guys get this, I'll give you like an example of how to stay motivated in days where you don't feel like it. And that's at tanyacoliver.com/calendar. The link is also in the bio. If you want that, just send me a message. And so, yeah, I hope you enjoyed today. If you love something that I said and I added value to you, just make sure you share this live stream on your social platform. That's all I ask. We spread awareness. And you download your calendar, tanyacoliver.com/calendar, and then you just comment below. I love engagement. I love when you guys engage. And let me know one of the most valuable things that you received out of today. And go ahead and execute on the assignment. So, all right, you guys, I hope you have a blessed up Monday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.